Wednesday, July 2nd. Let's go. All right. Couple quick announcements before we start the stream and start the YouTube video. First and foremost, the tool that you see on my screen right now is rudebets.com. At the bottom, you can get 25% off if you use code RUDE. It is an outstanding tool. We're going to be going through it in depth today for a lot of the games, but there are so much more that you can find that you won't be able to see on stream, such as looking at player probabilities and other things like that, and just having the tool as the updates come out through the day with lineup changes, everything that has to do with real-time updates. So go get access to rudebets.com if you haven't yet. Secondly, everything here on today for the games that we're going to be going over are evening games only, outside of these two early day games that are not doubleheaders. So when it comes to the doubleheader games, which there are a few of them, we are ignoring game one. We are only looking at the evening games. So that's important to note as you guys watch this video. It's only the evening games. I'll reiterate that throughout the entire stream just to make it more known, or if you just missed this part. But yeah. So with that being said, we have 15 games today, excluding doubleheader game ones. So we're going to go through them, and we're going to find what we can find today. I'm pretty optimistic. Although, let's just look quickly. Do we see any possible rainouts again today? Outside of this first Oakland Rays game, not really. So that's a good sign. But yesterday was tough, man. A lot of rainouts. I don't know what was going on there, but they decided to rain out every game. One sec. Let me just tweet this out so that people can come. Let me just tweet this out. Although Twitter, I think, is down, so not a really good start to the day on the internet side of things here. I don't know how it's down, but it's down. All right. So now that we have that done, we can go through the games. First one, Oakland Athletics, game one. Oakland A's, Tampa Bay Rays. All right, so yesterday we actually had a lot of really good call-outs on money lines, so we're going to look into that still again today, and we're going to see if we can have another really good day. If you guys are watching this video, I do shout out the money line and the value on it, so I do think those are good bets. Please do not only rely on just home run picks in the MLB. If you want to win, you got to take other stuff too. So when I call out general props or I call out money lines or over-unders, things like that, those are lines you should be looking at taking if those fit your system. I do get a lot of comments where it's like, man, these are really great videos. We're so close to hitting, but I haven't hit yet. The home run, this comment, we just got one actually as I was saying that. The home run plays will come. The home run plays will come, but it's a 1 to 1,000 challenge, meaning we have 1,000 days to hit it to break even. So in order to be profitable until one of those hits, you got to take other stuff too. Today, Rays are minus 208 on the money line. I don't think that's good value here. I have them at minus 178 as fair value. 64% chance to win this game. Technically, the A's aren't really good value either because their line is currently plus 180 due to the way the books put a hold on it so that they guarantee money on both sides. So neither team really has a good line here for the money line in this game. Also, as I just mentioned, according to the weather report, there's a 62% chance of rain and thunderstorms, so wouldn't be surprised if this game gets delayed. Probably not worth really taking anything on, but we'll look. There is really good home run weather here, but it's because it's in Tampa Bay. It's like a Little League ballpark. On the pitch mix side, I mean, Jacob Wilson's okay for general props. Lawrence Butler, pretty low on the pitch mix. Don't really love any of these guys against Pepio. I mean, Kurtz, once again, today would be an okay long shot for a home run. His odds at plus 450 are not bad. They're actually really favorable. But this game, like I said, might get rained out or pushed back significantly, so we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens there. On the other side, it would be Brandon Lowe for a home run. He's sitting at plus 400 right now on FanDuel, which is very favorable. That's about it. Caminero, I would not take today. Caminero with a 1.89 pitch mix is just really tough. I do not like that. Jake Mangum does have a 10 out of 10 rating, but he's not a home run guy. He's a general props guy. Same with Chandler Simpson. He would be a general props guy. But if you're looking for a home run in this early game, you want to start the day with something, Brandon Lowe or Nick Kurtz are good options for the value. Kurtz and Lowe actually have very similar pitch mixes at 4.9, so you could take a same game with Kurtz and Brandon Lowe both to hit a home run, but it's probably unlikely, and I just really don't like the weather in this one. There's no value on the money line. Overall, pretty tough game. We're going to have to see what ends up happening with this one. Shea swinging hot bat? Yeah, he is. I don't think he's going to hit another home run today, though. Yeah, this game's probably getting rained out. There's a really, really high chance this game gets rained out. Or at least pushed back like hours. So, I don't want y'all to waste your time on that if it does. The only other day game that we have today here for to go over is Cardinals Pirates. Sonny Gray versus Mitch Keller. Sonny Gray threw a 89 pitch complete game his last outing. He's kind of hot right now. He's red hot. 7 strikeouts for Sonny. Let's see the money line here. Pirates with a 40% chance. 60% chance for the Cardinals. Cardinals are currently sitting at minus 126. I think that's extremely good value on the money line. Cardinals at minus 126, minus 122. I think that's a very good value play today. I know they lost yesterday, which actually makes me feel more comfortable with it. It should be a pretty good pitcher's duel here. Mitch Keller can be pretty good himself. He doesn't allow a ton of runs or a lot of home runs. He just doesn't get much run support from the Pirates offense, but not many people do. Not many pitchers get good run support out of the Pirates. So I think that the Cardinals on the money line is probably the best play in this game. We look at the pitch mixes. Nobody really matches up well against Keller. On the other side, nobody really matches up well against Sonny Gray either. So if we look at pitcher strikeouts here, Sonny Gray sitting at 5.5. I think that's a really good line at minus 138 on FanDuel. Sonny Gray over 5.5 strikeouts, minus 138. Not a bad play. Mitch Keller at 4.5. I wouldn't take that. It's too close. Yeah, Sonny Gray, minus 138, minus 136 on ProfitX. Not a bad line. Really, I think the better value is probably in just taking the Cardinals to win. They are, like I said, they're currently at minus 126. So we have about 6% advantage here on this play in the long run. So not a bad overall option for the Cardinals today. But batters, yeah, this game just isn't really a hitter-friendly matchup for either team. So probably would fade the batters here and then just focus on Sonny Gray strikeouts or the Cardinals to win this one, or just fade the game entirely, which is what I'm probably going to do realistically. Game 3, Padres-Phillies. Reminder, this is the evening game now. Every game from now on is game 2s of the doubleheader. So we're not doing any game 1 doubleheader stuff. We're only looking at game 2. So let me make sure I get to the right one here. There we go. Padres-Phillies. 34% ballpark factor for home run weather here in Philadelphia. That's outstanding. The only problem is we have Cease going against Chris Sanchez. So 2 pitchers who are pretty dominant when they're on. So that makes it tough. I mean, if you had to go with home runs here, you'd pick Manny Machado and Kyle Schwarber. Realistically, Machado I think is actually not terrible value. Also, the Phillies are minus 151 on the money line. I think that's a solid play today. I think you could take the Phillies at minus 150, and it's okay. It's a couple percentage points of advantage here. It's not great, but it's an okay play. Let me just actually quickly look at the total too, real quick. 9 runs projected. The total is 8.5. Yeah, I mean that's not a huge advantage there either. Not really a huge advantage. If it was 7.5, I would say take the over, but it's not. Machado for a home run is sitting at plus 350 right now. It's not terrible. It's really not that bad. Plus 350 in game 2. I'm at plus 376, so fair value. If you're on Fanatics, it's at plus 430. It could be all right. Thing is, Chris Sanchez is good. He doesn't really give up a ton of home runs. I don't know if Machado has any history. Let's see. He is 2 for 5 versus him. No homers, but 2 for 5. It's a respectable small sample size there. And then against the pitch mix, it is a tough matchup, but he does do well against the main pitch. So Cardinals and then Phillies game 2. I mean, yeah, they're okay. I think Cardinals game 1's a good play, and Phillies game 2, it's okay. It's a couple percentage points. There's probably better ones out there. We'll end up finding out if there are better ones out there, but it's not a bad play. Jackson Merrill, really bad on the pitch mix. Oh my gosh. Gavin Sheets, yeah, none of these guys really match up well. The only play I would even look at for the Padres would be, well, maybe Cease strikeouts. Let's look at strikeouts for Cease. Cease strikeouts is sitting at 6.5. I think that's a good line. I think you could take Cease at 6.5 today if you wanted to. It's pretty high. That's like if you're an NBA person and you're not really a baseball person, 6.5 strikeouts is like trying to take a guy on points in the NBA for like 28.5. You know, it's a lot. 6.5 strikeouts is a lot, but I do think that Cease could do it today, and it's not bad value at plus 100, even money. As a 50-50 bet, I think it's pretty good value. On the on the other side, Schwarber's not worth it for a home run. He's sitting at plus 285. I mean, for Schwarber, those are actually generally good odds. Usually you don't see him that high. Sometimes you will, but I have his break even today at plus 488, 17% chance to hit a home run. He does match up okay. So does Trey Turner. I think you could take either of these guys for general props today. I know a lot of people are on Castellanos. His pitch mix is a little too low for me. 10% chance to hit a home run. He's 0 for 3 versus Cease. His pitch mix is actually really rough. He's bad against the slider, and he's mid against the fastball. So that's really all the Cease throws. So nothing crazy for him. But Trey Turner, I do think, looks pretty good today. I like Trey Turner. He's 2 for 3 versus Cease. This is a good hits, runs, and RBIs play today. Trey Turner over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs is where I would land on him today, or in general on the Phillies. Strikeouts for Chris Sanchez. His line's 4.5, also very good. I think you could take Chris Sanchez for 4.5. The Padres are one of the bottom 5 teams in strikeout rate, so they are hard to strike out. So that's why his line is lower than normal. But I still think 4.5 is pretty favorable at minus 142. I could see him getting 5, maybe 6 as a ceiling today. So not terrible, not terrible. But yeah, overall, not really a great game for batters in this one either, just given the pitching matchup. Game 4, Twins-Marlins. Marlins have been red hot. Yesterday, their offense didn't really do anything, but overall, they've just been red hot, which is interesting. I do have the Marlins winning this game today again. Simeon Woods Richardson's pretty bad. Jansen Junk's been really good this year. Marlins are a very slight underdog at plus 106 or plus 101 on DraftKings. So you can get them for even money today. I have them at minus 117, so it's about a 4% advantage. Not a ton there, but as an underdog, it's not a bad play. Should be pretty low scoring again here today. It looks like -9 ballpark factor, 8 total runs, around 4-4, maybe 4-3. Nothing crazy. If we look at how these guys match up against Jansen Junk, I think Byron Buxton's okay for hits, runs, and RBIs, but the only problem here is Jansen Junk has not really given up home runs this year. I know in his career he has, but this year he's been doing pretty good at limiting home runs. So maybe that pops off the top today, and if it does, I would take Wallner or Buxton for a home run. If you want to try to really guess on when he's going to give up a home run or when he's going to start giving up home runs again, I don't personally go that strategy, though. I wait for guys who have the data that say they give up home runs, and then I take those plays. But some people like to try to get ahead of it and say, okay, well, now he's going to regress back to his averages over his career. If you want to try to play that guessing game, it would be Buxton or Wallner, but I don't think they have a ton of value. Buxton at 320 is okay. Wallner at 420 is better, but yeah, I probably would fade home runs for the Twins today, just given that data. But I do like Buxton for general props today. I think that would be the play here on the Twins. Take him for hits or hits, runs, and RBIs. But that's kind of it for that Twins side of things. On the other side, I think Stowers has good value. 6.13 on the pitch mix, plus 600 for a home run. His line currently is plus 520. It's a little bit of negative expected value by like a couple percent. It's not terrible. He would be the best option for a home run on this team, and I do like that pitch mix a lot. 6.13 is favorable, as you can see right here. He hasn't really faced Richardson at all, actually, in the last 3 years, but 1.98 total bases per hit versus righties, 14 home runs. All of his home runs come against righties. The one scary thing, strikeout rate of 36%. That's insanely high. But Simeon Woods Richardson's not a huge strikeout guy. Stowers still probably does strike out, but I do like his matchup today. I think he's in a favorable situation. You could take Otto Lopez or even Agustin Ramirez for general props. Agustin Ramirez at a home run plus 420. It's not great. I don't think it's good value, but his stats versus righties, 1.93 total bases per hit, and his low strikeout rate is favorable. Pitch mix wise, he's really average against fastballs and sliders. Looks like he does a lot of his damage on changeups and splitters, which he's not going to see much of today. But for general props, I think he could be all right, and same with Otto Lopez. Yeah, Stowers would really be the home run play here that has some good value in this game. And then Marlins as an underdog. Once again, I don't hate it. I know they won yesterday. I know they're on a bit of a heater, but I really don't hate it. Game 5, Tigers-Nationals. All right, this is a good one. 12% ballpark factor. Flaherty versus Gore now. The matchup yesterday was supposed to be Flaherty versus, maybe it was Gore. I don't remember. No, it wasn't. It was somebody else. It was Williams. But today, Tigers, yesterday they looked really good. Today, not so much. I mean, Torkelson for a home run is always a good option against lefties. The only thing is Mackenzie Gore is outstanding He is known to give up a home run here and there. So you could take Torkelson if you wanted to. I don't think he's got good value at plus 390. It's not terrible. I have him at plus 426 as fair value. So I think Torkelson's a little bit negative expected value here today. Jahmai Jones could be a really good long shot here for a home run today, or for hits, runs, and RBIs, or any sort of general prop. The only thing is, here's something important to note about how Jahmai Jones is managed. Whenever the lefty comes out, he starts against left-handed pitchers, but the second the lefty comes out of the game, so does Jahmai Jones. They put in somebody else. So it's important to know that if you do take Jahmai Jones for something today, that you're only going to probably get 2, maybe 3 at-bats, depending on how well they do. And against Mackenzie Gore, I don't think that they're going to go around the order many times, so he probably gets 2 at-bats. Probably gets only 2 at-bats. Maybe 3, just because he's hitting leadoff. But he could be a good option if you wanted to take something really aggressive at plus 680 and have a prayer. He does match up really nicely. Outside of that, no one really else on the Tigers. I mean, Gore's just too good. Gore for strikeouts. Let's look at that real quick. Pitcher strikeouts for Mackenzie Gore. He's sitting at 6.5. I think that's a good line. He's a guy who can clear that line pretty easily. He does very often. Mackenzie Gore is a guy who has 10, 11, 12 strikeout capability ceiling, so I think his line at 6.5 against the Tigers is pretty favorable. I think that's one you could be on at minus 140. It's really good. General props-wise against Flaherty, I like C.J. Abrams. His home run line currently sits at plus 560. I think that's fair value. I have him at plus 567. So if you want to take C.J. Abrams at plus 560 as a long shot, you could also do that for a home run. James Wood, I really like him for a home run today. He's sitting at plus 400. I have him at plus 335. Flaherty's known to give up home runs. He's a good pitcher, but he gives up home runs. So I would say James Wood be the number one option here for a home run today. And then Nathaniel Lowe also sitting at, well, his pitch mix is a little too low. I don't think I like him that much, but he's at 680 for a home run, which is good value on the probability. But he doesn't really match up on the pitch mix side, so that's more of a difficult play to take. Really just these top 2 guys in the order that look good today. Abrams for a long shot home run. Woods is a great option for a home run, both for general props, as in hits, runs, or RBIs. And if you want to, take James Wood for a walk. He's been walking a ton. He's been getting intentionally walked a ton as well, too. So James Wood at a walk, not bad if you can find the line. I don't see one out right now. But yeah, you could take James Wood for a walk in this game. Game 6, Yankees, Blue Jays. I made a video yesterday. Stop taking Aaron Judge for home runs, please. He's sitting today at plus 215. Don't fall for the bait. It's not good value. It's really not good value. Will Warren versus Jose Barrios. Trent Grisham. Trent Grisham, I think, is pretty good today for general props. He probably gets a hit. Home run-wise, I'm not entirely sold on him. Pitch mix is a little low. Probability, I guess if you can get him at 420, 475, it's not terrible. He's sitting at plus 475 on ESPN right now, which isn't bad. I just don't think it's an outstanding play. Bellinger matches up too low on the pitch mix. So does Goldschmidt. Jazz sitting at a 5 is a neutral matchup with a 22% chance at a home run. That's plus 430 on FanDuel right now, plus 475 on Bet365. I like Jazz Chisholm for a home run today. He's on the 1-to-1,000 slip that you see scrolling across the bottom of the screen. I think he's probably the best value play on the Yankees today for a home run. So I am in on Jazz Chisholm for a home run, and that's probably the only play on the Yankees that I'll take. On the other side, Vladdy does match up well against Will Warren. I think he's a good play today for general props. Outside of that, though, Will Warren is a really good pitcher. He does strike out a lot of batters, but on the other side, Toronto ranks 30th in strikeout rate. They don't strike out at all. So I know his line is 4.5. I probably wouldn't fall for that trap today, though. I would just probably stay away from Will Warren on strikeouts. He's not an underplay at 4.5. I do not think he's an under. But the over there, it just feels like it's trying to bait you in at minus 114, 4.5 against a team that doesn't strike out much. So I probably would stay away from that. On the money line, I do have the Jays winning this game. They are a slight underdog. You could run that. It's a little too close to call, in my opinion, though. 55% chance to win only. The line is a couple percentage points in your favor, but feels a little too close to call. So really in this one, it'd be Jazz Chisholm for a home run and Vladdy for general props, like a hit or hits, runs, and RBIs. Kind of it. You put Warren for 4. I think you can get to 4 today. I do. it's just too tough of a matchup where I don't feel confident in taking him on strikeouts today. Game 7, Brewers-Mets. This is, once again, Game 2 of the doubleheader. This is not Game 1. This is the night game. All of these games moving forward are night games. I have a heavy favorite for the Brewers. This game, though, the money line here is a bit skewed in the data points. It's very skewed. And the reason why is you have Mizorowski going against Tidwell. Both have only like 2 or 3 starts each. There's really limited data on both of these pitchers. So overall, this game in general is going to be a bit tricky. Mizorowski's only given up 3 hits in his entire career across all 3 of his starts. So I don't know how you can take the Mets against that. I just feel like you have to fade the Mets against Mizorowski today until Mizorowski starts to like become hittable. But the thing is this is everybody here's first time seeing him. Nobody's ever seen him before. So until these guys start to see him multiple times, it might be hard. Every start he goes against a new team, he might do pretty well. And then on the other side, Tidwell has been pretty much the opposite of Mizorowski. He's gotten called up. He's done horribly in his few starts. So everybody on the Brewers are a little overinflated. So while the Mets are underinflated, the Brewers are overinflated here in this game. So it makes it a very difficult game to get a really true read on with such a small sample size for both pitchers. I still do think the Brewers win this game. They're sitting at minus 121, which is extremely favorable. For Mizorowski being on the mound, I feel like you got to take the Brewers to win this game. I feel like you have to at minus 121. It's just too good a value to pass up with how good Mizorowski's been and how bad Tidwell's been. Clearly, the books think both are going to regress to the mean. They think Tidwell's going to get better, and they think Mizorowski's going to get worse. But like I said, I'm more of a take bets until they prove otherwise. So I like the Brewers in this one. They match up really well against Tidwell's pitch mix, but that's because his pitch mix is pretty awful. Let's just look at one of them. Let's look at Yelich. He's on the 1 to 1,000. We have him with a 29% chance at a home run. Tidwell's negative, doesn't throw it, negative. So every pitch Tidwell throws this year, he's negative runs above average at a pretty extreme rate outside of his fastball. Specifically his secondary pitch, the slider, -5 runs above average. Terrible. That is awful. That's about as bad as it gets. So he's, very slightly negative with his fastball, which is his main pitch. But overall, the Brewers match up extremely well against Tidwell. In Game 2 here, I like Yelich for general props or a home run. I like Trurio for general props. I like Frelick for general props. You could go Contreras or Hoskins for general props. Like, anybody on the Brewers look pretty good today, assuming Tidwell stays in his own current, I guess, output. Sorry, my brain broke. You missed the Pirates game. Who you got? I think the Cardinals are... Yeah, I got the Cardinals in that one too. I think the Cardinals are good value. Game 8, Red Sox. Once again, this is the second game. This is not the makeup game. We actually don't even have any lines for this one. All we have is a money line. So I do think the Red Sox win. -130 is what I have them at. That's exactly what the line is on FanDuel, so there's no value in the play. Nick Martinez versus Brian Bello is the projected starter for the Red Sox. This also is subject to change. I think this is a game we should probably just, in general, not even talk about because there are no lines. So we can't even see who has value. Yeah, there's no lines in this game. So we're going to have to just move on from that. But I do think the Red Sox win Game 2 if Bello starts. We'll see who ends up starting, though. Angels-Braves Game 9. This is a pretty good one. Didier Fuentes versus Kikuchi. Once again, Didier Fuentes only has a couple starts under his belt. He has not been that good in them at all. He's been pretty bad. Kikuchi, on the other hand, has been pretty solid here. I think that the Angels are a good value play at plus money. Angels are an underdog. I think the Angels as an underdog in this matchup is well worth taking at plus 110. Just given how bad Fuentes has been. Brewers team total over 4.5 could be a look for plus money. That isn't bad, Peach. That isn't bad. Problem is the Brewers offense is so streaky. They just don't have the home run power. So for team totals for Brewers, I can't tell you the last time I took one. Because they rely so heavily on stringing together base runners and hits. And like that strategy, while over the last few weeks, it's worked really well for their offense. It's also a strategy that's impossible to sustain. Without having anybody that can just clear the bases with like a 3-run home run, run totals for their team are so hard. But at plus money against Tidwell, it could be a good look. I think the books are really, really banking on Tidwell having a good start or the Brewers' offense just being really bad today in that game. So I do like the Angels as a plus money look here as an underdog. So home run look pretty good for the Angels. Once again, this is based on Didier Fuentes, who has a very small sample size, but Nito looks good for a home run. Trout looks good for a home run. Ward looks good for a home run. O'Hop looks good for a home run. Adele looks good for a home run. Really, it's another one of those games. It's extremely similar to what we just talked about with the Brewers for Game 2 of the doubleheader. It's a bunch of guys who match up really well against a pitcher who has a small sample size. So -3 on his fastball, -5 on his curveball, and he's a little bit above average on his slider. So everyone's going to match up well with his 60% of his pitches being -3 runs above average. So take that with a grain of salt. I probably will end up still taking some Angels for home runs today. We got good ballpark weather here in Atlanta. I think Trout is a really good look today for a home run. His 9.5, and same with Ward. Ward and Trout are my two favorites here. And then you could go Adele, Nito, or Hoppy. I'd say Ward and Trout are my favorite, then Adele would be third. But they're all about even. And they're all about the same odds, about plus 330, except for Trout, who's a little bit lower at plus 265. But they're all positive expected value. So is O'Hop, so is Nito. So you got a bunch of options on the Angels today for home runs. You're going to have to just narrow it down or split them up across a few slips. On the other side, Ronald Acuna, once again, he does not do well against lefties. He just doesn't. He's just rough. 192 batting average against lefties is so bad. Matt Olson could be an okay look today. For general props, his batting average versus lefties is pretty solid. Does he have any history against Kikuchi? 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. He does strike out 34% of the time versus lefties. Probably not a good look. Yeah, I think overall the Braves today are just probably a fade. Not a ton of guys that have any value on the Braves today, unfortunately. But there's a lot of guys that look good on the Angels. So you could go crazy with the Angels today and just split these guys up across different slips. Make sure you work in some general props for guys too. Yeah, come back to the site, readbets.com. Later on, kind of poke through these and look at the different match pitch mix ratings, batting averages, click into the names, look at the probabilities, and you'll be able to find good value on the Angels today. There's so many options to take. So many options. Game 10, Orioles-Rangers. So I do have the Rangers winning this game again. They won yesterday as well, which we had. I called that one out as an outstanding value play. Today it's a decent value play, I guess. Sagano versus Eovaldi. Really low scoring projected game. Unfortunately, only 7 total runs. Total in this one on the line is 6 or 8.5. So this could be a good underplay. Rangers at -140. I don't mind either though. Sagano gives up a lot of home runs. Eovaldi doesn't. Another reason to like the Rangers in this game. If you look at how the Orioles match up against Eovaldi, not well. Really not well at all. O'Hearn at 4.83 is the highest. I probably would fade the Orioles today. I don't think there's much value on them. On the other side, I think Seager's good for a home run. His odds are just so cooked. They have Seager sitting at plus 290. Plus 290 is really a rough line for Seager, who hasn't been hitting that many home runs. But I do like Seager for general props today. If I had to pick someone for a home run on this team, it would be him. Evan Carter, probably, he has no lines out. Adolis Garcia, plus 360, not great. Semien, yeah. Not a lot of good lines here for the Rangers for home runs. I would say Seager would be your best choice. I think any of these top 3 look pretty good for general props, though. And I do like the Rangers on the money line. But it's hard to take a team for home runs when we have such a low projected total of only about 4 runs. Maybe you get 1 home run in this game, but it's not really a clear-cut favorite outside of Seager, whose odds are just not really worth the value. So overall, in this play, I think it's either Rangers or the under would be more of a better option than taking any of the player props. Game 11, Guardians-Cubs. So we have the Cubs at -190. The money line right now is sitting at -162. I think the Cubs on the money line is a good play. Once again, a pretty low-scoring game, 7.86 total runs. Not really great. So probably 4-3, maybe 5-3 in favor of the Cubs. I do think their value on the money line is okay, though, at -160. I don't mind that. Bibby going up against Imanaga. Oof, interesting. Showed a only in his second game back from the IL. These guys don't match up well against Shota at all. I mean, Jose Ramirez is sitting at a 5, so maybe Jose Ramirez for general props today, but outside of that, they don't match up well against Shota. No one's really worth taking on player props today outside of maybe Jose Ramirez for the Guardians. On the other side, though, Kyle Tucker matches up really well. Pete Crow Armstrong is solid. Michael Busch matches up pretty well. I think Pete Crow for a home run is a long shot's good play. Kyle Tucker is close to fair value. Same with Seiya Suzuki. Ian Happ for general props could be okay for like a hit. Michael Busch is a long shot for a home run. Also is a pretty good play at plus 470. I don't mind that. So I would be looking at Michael Busch, Pete Crow Armstrong, or Kyle Tucker as your home run plays today, or Seiya Suzuki as your home run plays today. My favorite would be Pete Crow Armstrong or Michael Busch, just because of the value. I just don't. Kyle Tucker's a little bit negative expected value at plus 420 for a home run, but he does match up really well, so I don't hate the play. And then Seiya Suzuki, his line is plus 340. That's a little too low. 426 is the fair value there, but still not a bad option. These two are obviously way more consistent at home runs than these two, but the value is definitely on Busch and Crow Armstrong. But yeah, I think you could take any of those guys for a home run today. And then Kyle Tucker for general props looks really good. So I think you should be on Kyle Tucker today for a hit or hits, runs, and RBIs, or maybe even total bases. Yeah. Game 12, Astros Rockies. Another potentially solid game for home runs here. Lines are all very cooked, though. Paredes, he's home run or bust versus lefties, only hitting 175, but he has 3 homers and 40 at-bats, 2.29 total bases per hit. He does have a home run against Gomber, 4 for 7, 571 average, 6.26 favorable matchup. So I think Paredes for a home run today is pretty solid at plus 320. It is a home run or bust play. I wouldn't be on him for like a hit or anything. It would purely be home run or bust for Paredes today. Altuve also looks pretty fair value for a home run today at plus 390. Slightly negative expected value, but it's not bad. I really don't mind it. Cam Smith, he is on the 1-to-1,000. He's a small sample size guy, but he's got an insane probability for a home run today. 57% of his home runs come against lefties. He does strike out at an astronomical rate, 39%, but 2.36 total bases per hit versus lefties. He's better than him on the fastball, and he's better than him on the slider, although he is worse than him on the curveball, and he's way better on the changeup. He's really good against changeups. So I think Cam Smith as a long shot for a home run today on that 1-to-1,000 is a good option at plus 400. But he's also probably home run or bust. It's a very big long shot. And then the other side, nobody really matches up too well here today on the Rockies. I would not touch a Rockies player today. On the money line, 78% chance for the Astros. Astros were super undervalued yesterday. Today they are better, minus 260. I don't really think it's worth taking them at minus 260. I really don't. Let's see what their run line is. You could probably take them on the run line today, though. Spread. Astros, I still wouldn't do it at minus 184. It's not much better than the money line. So, yeah, it's tough. If you want to take the Astros at minus 260 for like a juice reliever or something, you could probably get away with it. I just think it's a little risky. Yeah. But pitcher strikeouts, Hunter Brown should be a really good play for strikeouts today. 6.5 as his line. I think that's extremely favorable. Minus 131, minus 120 on DraftKings. Hunter Brown over 6.5 strikeouts should be excellent play today. Could be an excellent play today. Game 13, Giants Dbacks. Landon Roop versus Merrill Kelly. Very slight lean to the the Diamondbacks today in this game. Their line is minus 146. That's negative expected value. So technically the Giants would be a better play at plus 124. Pitch mix wise against Merrill Kelly, none of these guys match up too well. He's been really good this year. So there's no one that really stands out on the Giants today as a good option. On the other side, Ketel Marte for general props looks really good. His home run odds, though, I think they're cooked. Let's see. Ketel Marte, he's plus 500. I think Ketel Marte plus 500 for a home run is not a bad option. I really think that's not a bad option. A guy who has 17 home runs on the year should not be plus 500. That's a very favorable line. He's probably the only guy for a home run here that's worth it. Eugenio Suarez at plus 460 is okay, but it's negative, probably negative 5% in terms of value. So I don't think that I'm going to take him. But I do like Ketel for a home run at plus 500. I think that's good value. But you could take him for, honestly, for general props, though. Really, any of these guys look pretty good for general props today. for a hit or hits, runs, and RBIs, anybody in the top 5 on the Diamondbacks is a pretty solid option. They all match up pretty favorably at around the 5 range here or above. But Ketel Marte is the clear-cut favorite, and he's a clear-cut favorite for a home run, so that's where I would really start my focus. And then if you wanted to work in like a Josh Naylor or a Pavin Smith, you could. But Ketel's definitely the best. Game 14, Royals-Mariners. Game 14, Royals-Mariners. 50-50 game. 51% Royals, 49% Mariners. The money line here is heavy favorite towards the Royals with, towards the Mariners with Logan Gilbert on the mound. Noah Cameron's been really good. So, I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of value in the Royals today at plus 152. That's it. That's an underdog that I think has a ton of value. We can look at the pitch mixes here and kind of dive into that and see if that really matches up as well. But let's see. Yeah, these guys don't match up too well versus Gilbert. I mean, a 4.74, 3.43, really tough. But the other side, they don't match up well either. Cal Raleigh's the best here at a 5.18. So overall, batter props. I mean, Cal Raleigh for a home run is fair value at 250. You could get away with Cal Raleigh at plus 250 today on DraftKings. I think that's a decent play for a player prop. But outside of that, the real play here is Royals money line at plus 150. None of the batters match up too well. We're projecting 6.89 total runs, so there's probably not going to be a lot of run production to find hits, runs, and RBIs. Yeah, the plays here would be you could take Cal Raleigh for a home run, or you could take Royals on the money line, or both. But yeah, I think Royals on the money line is a really good play in this one. But outside of that, there's just not a ton here. Should be a pitcher's duel. Should be a real pitcher's duel. And then Game 15, White Sox, Dodgers. Another projected score that's going to be somewhat low, 7.99 runs. Kershaw on the mound. So obviously the White Sox, you're not going to take them today. If we look at the money line here, Dodgers, I have them at minus 179. Their odds are minus 337. Ridiculous. Don't take the Dodgers today on the money line. Don't take the White Sox either, but just don't take the Dodgers at that value. There's no value on that. Absolutely none at all. I do think on the other side, though, if we look at this, we got a lot of good pitch mixes. Ohtani for general props, Will Smith for general props, or even a home run. Will Smith for a home run plus 425 isn't terrible. We have him at plus 456. It's slightly negative. Teoscar for a home run at plus 340 is pretty good. Tommy Edman for a home run at plus 520, that's really good. Andy Pages, general props. So you got all of these guys for general props look really good today. And then if you really want to dive into home runs, I think Tommy Edman, Teoscar, or Will Smith would all be good options for a home run today. Yeah, so I think you can go crazy with that. Yerfie might even be a good play today. Let's look at what the first inning runs are. First inning runs. A Yerfie is minus 120. That's not a bad play. If you're trying to do like a little Nerfy-Yerfie combination parlay, I think that a Yerfie here would be the better option. But overall, yeah, Ohtani bets, you can take any of these guys for general props that are at the top of the order. And then Will Smith, Edman, or Teoscar for a home run all look pretty good in this matchup. So I'll probably end up putting Tommy Edman on something. I really like taking him against lefties. Same with Will Smith. So overall, not a bad game. All right, so that's all the games. Let's go into the projections here and just look at the top-down ratings against who's good. Once again, 10 out of 10s walk a lot. So if they have a good walk rate, like Will Smith for a walk today, excellent play. Mike Trout for a walk today could be an excellent play. Let's see, anybody else here? Yeah, it's really Will Smith and Mike Trout for walks today on the pitch mix walk correlation metric. Looks pretty outstanding. I do like that parlay if you take Will Smith and Mike Trout for a walk each. We do have some 10s. The only problem is this guy is Jake Mangum. He's really not a home run hitter, so I wouldn't take him. Jahmai Jones gets pulled early. So Will Smith would be really the best option based on pitch mix as a good home run candidate. Same with Mike Trout. Sal Frelick is great for general props. We have a lot of 8s and above today. Many of them on the Brewers, though, due to a small sample size, and also on the Angels due to a small sample size. So it is a little bit skewed. It is a little bit skewed based on those data points. Home run-wise, broken data points for these two guys just based on small sample size. Cam Smith looks great. Trout, Ward, Adele, we already talked about all those guys. And then batter strikeouts. I think it's always worth taking batter strikeouts. Acuna to strike out twice today. Looks like it'll probably happen against a lefty. He does it often. Michael Toglia also looks like he'll strike out today with a really low pitch mix rating. So all these guys for strikeouts could be really good as well. But yeah, overall, a ton of options today to really dive into. Highly recommend, once again, go to rudebets.com, sign up, and get in this tool and start digging through the data. There's so many different options you can find. And once again, you can always change the probabilities or the lines to get different probabilities. So you can see, what would a guy look like for total bases? What would a guy look like for hits, runs, and RBIs at 2.5, right? And it'll give you what those fair values are for the odds. So yeah. Overall, big slate, a lot of games today. I'm fading the day games. I'm only going into the night games. Good luck today. Make sure you drop a subscription, like, and comment, and I will catch you guys for tomorrow's video. Peace out.